Well, I'm on the farm here today, and I've been tinkering around with my John Deere tractor and my little 50-gallon sprayer. And we're not quite ready to use my 500-gallon sprayer just yet. But so I thought I'd mash this thing back into service one more time. And but I've got the pump off of it. I've had cut the lines. I've had the pump off of it, and I'm getting ready to put all that stuff back together. And there may or may not be another video on that. But what I wanted to talk about is no to fertilizer and yes to herbicides. And typically I don't spray this early. This is around the 1st of April, and but there are weeds in this field, and I'll walk to another spot where they're a little more prominent. And since we're not putting down fertilizer, we want to try to squish the weeds as much as possible this year, so that whatever's in the ground, it will not be consumed by the weeds, and hopefully be available for the grass that we're growing here. So when you look out over this field, to the naked eye, you might say, well, there's no weeds in here to spray. But there are broadleaf weeds. Here's some more. In this part of the field right here, we have a lot of these weeds right here. I'm drawing a blank on the name, but they turn purple. But nonetheless, it is a consumer of nutrients in the ground. And so we want to squish that now. And the nice thing about it is, because they're so young, we're not going to be putting down a heavy rate of herbicide, so we save a little bit of money right there too. And that's kind of the goal. Fertilizer is so expensive, at least around on our first cutting. We're not going to spend money on fertilizer. We're just going to take what we can get. And I realize we're mining the field to some extent, but I kind of think that at some point fertilizer prices may go down once the big time operators get done planting and that kind of thing, and then fuel prices, maybe things in Ukraine will die down, and oil markets and natural gas will kind of get back to normal, if there's such a word with regard to those things. But relatively speaking, herbicide is cheap, even though it's gone way up in price, and it's cheap compared to fertilizer. So in order to maximize the nutrients we have in the ground, we want to knock these weeds down. And we'll come back a second time if we need to, even before first cutting. But I'm a little optimistic this year in my goals. I'd like to start cutting around the 1st of May, even if the grass is only knee-high. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One of them is I want to get I want to get second, third, maybe a fourth cutting this year. So we're going to be cutting, hopefully, weather permitting, on more frequent intervals. The second thing is with my labor situation, a smaller yield is probably better, easier to handle. So we'll get a smaller first cutting, and then we'll get a nice second cutting coming out of May into latter part of June, maybe 1st of July. That might be a decent cut of hay, and then we'll see what transpires from there. Hopefully we'll get a third cut, and people pay really good money for second and third cut really anything post first cut hay for their horses. So spraying here on the farm, you know, yes to herbicides, no to fertilizer, and just a beautiful day here in the mountains of Virginia. And hope you enjoyed the video. Kind of short one here, and we'll talk to you later.